A letter to myself. Dear myself, it's circa this year -5, 17, trying to figure out what to do in this life. Like, looking into a horizon that looks bright, but everything is too far for you to see. I promise you'll be all right. Just like 3 years before when that girl turned down that song you wrote when you barely learned you could write, or 4 years before when you didn't even want to be alive. Trust me, you will want to be later. The places you get to go, the people you get to meet, it's amazing that there are things out there that fill that emptiness to feel complete. I know you know this already, but your world is larger than you think, but you won't realize this till you're older. Be aware of the love that comes your way. Feed the flames and let them blaze. Don't let it die. Don't let it become cold and reduced to a smolder. This is a letter to myself. I'm 24 and getting older. Please take this letter, save it, and put it in your do not delete folder. All right. So, we're back. Another episode of Kill the Poet.
What's up?
Today, talking about sending letters to yourself, whether it's to like the youngest version of yourself, like 5, 6, or just 5 years ago. So 5 years ago today, it's 2022. What would you? 5 years ago, it would be 2017.
2017.
Well, what would you write to yourself in 2017?
I'd probably say, trust who you're around, mostly. I'd probably say, trust your gut. And I'd probably say, like, I can't remember the last thing I would say. I mean, for those two things, are like I would definitely keep those in mind.
I know one thing, because we've talked about this before, but I know, I mean, especially for me, and I'm sure like for you, but like the idea of impermanence.
Oh wait, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like things don't, like, when you're young, you think things are gonna. This is all I've ever known. Things will last forever. But like as you grow up, whether it's people, whether it's your perception of people, whether it's it could be anything. It's like there are a lot more things that aren't permanent than you would think.
Yeah.
Type of stuff.
Totally. I mean, it's like early on, you don't really know. At least for me, it was like you don't really know what is and isn't permanent based on like an actual experience of loss. Yeah. But it's like knowing to what's the word? I guess just appreciate what is not like a thing. Like you don't really like just think about something and like granted. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. You take it for granted. But it's like, over time you get a sense of like what that might be. I think that if I had to tell a younger version of myself something aside from just like be grateful, because I feel like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Go for it.
I probably wouldn't listen to.
I was about to ask, like, do you think if
I really hopped in a fucking spaceship or a time machine or something, and I came back and I was like, yo,
dread it up.
the way I am right now. Well, first of all, don't even talk about that because that's not even because I've been known I would be dreaded up even at that time. So I would be like,
so younger you would be like, obviously that's me. But
that would be the first thing I would pick up on. I'd be like, you did it. And then after that, when you saw Tron me, I was, oh no, it's like, who the fuck are you? Why you?
He's like, okay, wait a minute.
You know, I might have to get out of here.
Yeah.
You know,
who are you really? You know,
like, what are you trying to say? And then eventually, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like off rip, I probably wouldn't listen.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
So I can't even say that I would help previous me. I feel like he would probably just do what he did. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie. One thing, like just throughout my life, I've always thought about is like, why hasn't future me come back to visit? You know. And then I would always go back and forth between like, you know, as I would learn more about like time and everything like that.
Time travel doesn't exist, dude.
Here, you know.
No.
As far as yeah, that's fine. You know, you gotta believe it. I mean, we don't do it.
Bro, you've seen the.
Any science,
ahead,
any science we got is the extent of what. No, any science we got is the extent of like what we know. That's it. Like,
yeah.
So it's like the extent of what we know is that we can't do it, but that's not to say that there isn't anything beyond the extent of what we know.
Word. So
it's like one thing I'd always think about is like why hasn't future me come? And then it's like each year, right? Mm-hmm. As I got older, one year it'd be like, obviously he wouldn't come, but like. I'm sure there's laws around like in the future interacting with your past self and everything like that, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then the next year I'll be like, I feel like I'll leave myself a little something, you know.
You know what? You know what though? You know what the funny part is that if time travel actually like existed in the future, there's a fat chunk of possibility that your kin either doesn't exist or based on what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Based on that thought, either doesn't exist or doesn't even know that you exist.
Could you imagine the second that's like...
That's why they haven't come back.
Could you imagine if like the second like they had the press conference like, hey, they figured it out, then how would people just start disappearing?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't even do that shit.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like, I feel like you can't even do that shit. I know we're going off topic, but it's like,
I mean, kind of, but not really. Like, because we're talking about talking to our past selves, you know,
or
you know, and what you would say to them. So it's like right now we're talking about like if you were to write a letter to yourself today, you know, now and then it's like we got into like. If you were to actually recite the letter to your past self's face, you know, like if, and you know, in the poem, it's like, it was very self-reflective and everything. It was just, it was more like, hey, like, just know, instead of like, beware of like certain concepts like impermanence or anything. It would be more specific things. And then, you know, and that's the letter I would write to myself. But now if I were to go back in time and tell myself that, shit might be like, if I come back, like, I mean, we all saw Endgame, you know, like things might be different.
Yeah, I would definitely, I agree. I would definitely put up the bewares like early.
Yeah.
If I had the chance, it's like everyone makes mistakes, but I feel like it's like, you know, there's a level of like sense of self that comes from those mistakes. Yeah. That's like, maybe I wouldn't want to like.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Tell bruh not to do that thing that was really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I would want to go through that because it had to. Maybe like, it's just like, I don't know. But there's definitely levels to that shit.
No,
like,
yeah. No, 100%.
I wholly believe 100%. That though, that it's like, if you have the wherewithal to like stop something, it's only a perception on like what you think you might be able to stop. I think that eventually that thing, whatever it is,
will manifest.
Happens and manifests itself in several ways or other ways that you you have no control of.
And that you probably wouldn't have even imagined.
Yeah, totally.
Thing, you know,
I mean, it's outside of your realm of possibility. Sometimes it's
just like time travel.
Who knows?
Yeah, like it's just like time travel. It's just like you just don't have any. And it's like, okay, you do that. Hey, little bruh, make sure you look out for this. In 3 years, this, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and then you go back and you're like, you're God, and you don't even go. You're not even all the way back. You're on the trip. You're on the trip back, and you're just like, yeah, all right, we're set. We're good. We're good. You come back, everything's just destroyed. Everything's just so backwards, like, you know. And I'm sure, you know, there's been so much like media that's like followed that idea, but it's just like, it's interesting to think about what that would look like in your own personal life.
I'd be pissed if I went back in time and I did something and I went back into my normal time and nothing changed. It's just the exact same shit. And I was like,
do you know how much this was?
You know how much?
Space travel is the cost of an aircraft, like an
every
airplane
story. Thing. It's always some shit goes down. Imagine if you go back and it's just like, nah, bro, you didn't do it back then. You didn't change it. It's like, yo, that'd be fucked up.
So how did I do? Did I change anything? Nah. Nah, bro. I mean, like for you
went back?
You left. For us, it was like 2 seconds. Like you said, you were there for like a few months. Like, nah, dude. You
didn't kill her.
Maybe if we waited a day.
You didn't kill her or nothing, bro. You should at least have tried.
If there's like some sort of like right to privacy thing with time travel, it's like, you know, it's like obviously if this shit is still running, you know, like you know, it's gonna be corporate.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, as long as you gotta sign this liability thing, you gotta sign this liability thing. We are not allowed to ask where you go, you know, all that stuff. Make sure you keep the seatbelt on, have fun, you know. And then, you know, they're always hoping for the one person to go back to kill Hitler. And you know what? There was probably a ton of people that went back and did it. They came back and nothing changed.
Damn. Damn. No, bro.
It's like there's like some people that's like I went back to actually like talk to my grandma, like when she, because you know I always, you know, she was my best friend, blah blah blah. It's like, oh man, that's cool. All right. It's like, oh, I actually went back to my past self. All right. But like probably like 1 out of 5 of those people, it'd be like, I went back to kill baby Hitler. How's it looking? It's like,
yeah, it's looking
insane.
Pretty
nice.
Yeah.
You know, you're the third person today that's come back and said that.
that I feel like that's exactly what it would be. It's like on some like, you know, just on some like, I feel like the world might be able to fill in that gap. Like purpose, like in purpose.
You kill baby Hitler, but there's a baby someone else.
Zitler.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, cool. Like, bet. Like,
it's
another motherfucker down the street.
Hit off the same. Hitler. I went back in time and killed baby Hitler. Who?
Oh, no.
Are you talking about Hitler? It's like, what? Open up a history book, it's like, God damn. And hey, you know, I think what that really says at the end of the day, it's like looking back can only get you so far. You know, of course, you know, you can look back to learn from things, you know. But when you're looking back and hoping and wishing that you can change some things, it's like, sure, like maybe you might want to make a slightly different decision here, but at the end of the day,
that's a great point.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it got you here.
That's a great point. I never really thought about that one.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely go back to like just to re-witness things.
Yeah.
Like just this thing, like that you were talking about, like the pod, like the Futurama pod.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just like, the Da Vinci pod or whatever the fuck. I don't remember that episode, but it's like they went through the past and stuff. It's like if you didn't have any like say and didn't have any like. You couldn't change it.
Yeah.
It's like just witness it to learn.
Yeah.
Like that would be
that would be really cool.
Well, like that would change everything.
One of the years I was going back and forth where
for
it's
myself,
like,
at least,
where it was like, why hasn't Pat, like there was one year I was like, maybe like future me is here, but I just don't see him. Just because like I'm trying to follow, I'm not trying to get fined when I get back. Type thing, totally. It's like, because it's like, hey, it's like,
but it's like, think about it too, and not to interject, but
no, that's fine.
There's like, if you say future you wouldn't want to get caught up in like blah blah blah, there's a lot of radical ass motherfuckers that would like easily be in that space.
No background check can find that. You can't.
And they would definitely be tearing stuff up all over the place.
Yeah.
But it's like,
there's going to be history teachers that be like, I'm actually like a high school history teacher.
Like who?
Not anyone. I'm talking about in the future.
Drop a history teacher right now.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to drop a history teacher because, Even if I did, and like if I actually sat and thought about a history teacher, I probably could think of like some that would go back and just wreak havoc. But there's gonna be some like Maryland or something, that is just like we can go back in time now. Okay, yeah. Awesome. I would love to go back in time.
I would do it. First of all, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would definitely be on some like, let's learn from it. I definitely wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. I feel like that would be the best way to go about it.
And if I could tell myself anything, I would just say, just do what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, hey.
Because you're going to go back in time later.
Hey. No, exactly. Hey, you know what?
You know what I mean?
That's another episode of the Killer Poet Podcast. I'm Young Toledo. You can find me at Young Toledo on Twitter, Instagram. But on Instagram, make sure that there's an underscore because there's a little homie in Russia that won't let me have the thing without the underscore. So
damn,
it is what it is. I don't speak Russian. Tell them where they can find you, bro.
Kolo backwards. IAKOLOK everywhere.
Yeah. And then our boy behind the camera, it's Kovics. Y'all gonna see him. Y'all gonna see. You've heard him already. On Antimatter, on the Antimatter interview, bro. He's the man holding your eyeballs right now. All right.
Yeah.
Kill the poet. Let's go.
Let's go.
I was so stressed this guy.